If you play in a band, how important is your music to you? Seriously, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a priority is the success of your band? Do me a favor, say it out loud right now. Now remember that number, because today I'm breaking down the 5 tiers of success for bands. I'm going to show you all the things that successful bands actually do. Then you could compare that to what your band does and figure out if you need to change your approach, or come to the realization that maybe it isn't that important. So let's jump right in with the D tier, and that's for hobbyist bands. These are bands that play music simply for the fun of it. And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. These are the bands that get together to jam every once in a while. They rarely play live, and when they do, it's usually just their friends and family there to see them. They don't have much of a social media presence, and when they do release music, they don't do much to promote it. They use the same gear they've been using for years, and upgrading is not really a thought for them. They may release music every 3 to 5 years, and when they're making their music, they DIY everything. Recording, mixing, mastering, they also self-produce. Bands like this usually have single-digit monthly listeners, low stream counts, and rarely make any money from their music. Now let's talk about the C tier. That's what I call amateur bands. These bands usually play live a few times a year, but it's usually at the same 2 local venues on a bill with the same handful of bands, and the only time they rehearse is right before their gig. These bands have some social media presence, but they only post pictures from shows or when they have big things coming, and outside of that, it's usually a ghost town. Amateur bands also self-produce and DIY their recordings, but they may invest a little bit more in their equipment, usually an interface and enough mics to record drums, but usually it's all budget quality stuff. And because of this, they also have low monthly listeners, stream counts, and very little revenue from their music. And by the way, I want to know the number that you said out loud at the beginning of this video, as well as the tier that your band is in. Drop me a comment below and let me know. All right, we're moving up to B tier now, and this is for what I call up-and-coming bands. These bands are a bit more methodical in their approach. They rehearse often, they may play 12 to 25 shows a year, and they try to hit as many locations in their scene as possible. They may even actually travel for some gigs. These bands tend to be much more active on their social medias, posting pictures, show clips, rehearsal videos, but they may not engage much with their audience. Up-and-coming bands usually start to invest in themselves through things like gear, merch, banners, and recording equipment. But they usually self-produce and DIY their recording, mixing, and mastering. Alright, A tier is for serious bands. These bands usually rehearse weekly. They may even have a dedicated time booked at a rehearsal space. Most of their weekends are usually spent playing shows both in and out of their market. These bands may actually start to produce some income through things like merch and show attendance, since they usually have a decent draw at their gigs. Serious bands usually have thousands of followers on social media and decent streaming numbers. Their live equipment is dialed in for a great sound, and they usually have decent recording equipment, which they've spent time learning how to use. These bands may self-record, but they understand the importance of the quality of their sound, so they usually send their songs out to be professionally mixed and mastered. Alright, the top of the mountain. S tier is for what I call committed bands. For this group, the band is the priority. Whatever day jobs they have are just to help pay bills. All of their actions revolve around the commitment to the growth of their band. They practice multiple times a week and book small tours in various regions of their country. They promote their shows and gain listeners and followers by interacting with fans at every gig they play. They have a very strong social media presence and a dedicated plan for all of their content. There's a calculated marketing plan behind every release, with music videos, lyric videos, playthroughs, Q&As, and they rarely go longer than a year or 2 without releasing new music. They invest in quality gear in terms of their instruments and their live rig, but they don't spend money on recording equipment. They instead hire a professional engineer and producer to help improve and record their songs. They also send them out to be professionally mixed and mastered. For bands that operate this way, as long as they make music that resonates with people, it's just a matter of time before they break through. Now here's the good news. If you gave yourself an 8, 9, or 10 at the beginning of this video, but your actions align more with the B, C, or even D tier, doesn't mean that you're doomed. As they say, step 1 is admitting you have a problem. Step 2 is changing your behavior so that it aligns with your principles. For me, I only work with S and A tier bands, or B tier bands that want to level up. Now if that sounds like you and you're ready to start releasing music that competes with the pro bands in your genre, you can apply to work with me by clicking the link in the description and answering a few questions. Now if you're looking to level up your home recording workflow, definitely check out this video next. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.